Om Swastiastu. Salam sehat Sobat dari Bali. Jumpa lagi dengan saya Tirka Widanti dalam acara Chit-Chat East Meet West, sebuah acara berbincang-bincang santai menghadirkan teman-teman dari mancanegara yang kebetulan berkunjung ke Bali. Kita langsung saja tanya mereka apa kesan-kesannya mereka dan apa yang mereka lakukan selama mereka berkunjung ke Bali. Yuk. Halo.
Halo Ika.
Apa kabar Atis Arjuna Sob? Teman kita yang pertama adalah Atis Arjuna. Dari tampangnya seperti Arjuna gitu ya, ganteng sekali. Itu sudah kita langsung ketahui adalah Arjuna dari North India, dari India Utara. Kemudian yang dari West adalah Deborah.
Yes.
Apa kabar Deborah?
Yes.
Deborah dari UK ya. Artinya ini betul-betul hari ini kita mendapatkan teman East Meet West. Baik, saya masih ingat sekitar ratusan tahun yang lalu, menurut cerita nih, ratusan tahun yang lalu, India itu pernah dijajah oleh Inggris. Jadi India is a colony of Inggris. Was. Thank you. Yeah, not now. Yeah. So India was colony of United Kingdom 100 years ago, and now they are all sitting here together. Then we can ask both of them. Arjuna, yeah. I would like to ask both Arjuna and Deborah. Okay. Before coming to Bali, I'm sure that you did research about Bali. You did a research about Bali, a small research about Bali, and now you are in Bali. Do you find it as what you knew? Or maybe start from you first?
Thank you, Ika. I think for me, what research I did, I learned about that Bali is an ancient culture and it is connected with India since 1,000 years. And I learned about that there was 3,000 years old trading connection with ship with India. So I knew that Bali is a place where I'm going to get a lot of ancient, old culture experience. And also I heard, because I lived in Australia, and Deborah knows it well, 5 years, and a lot of Australian people come to Bali, a lot of other people come to Bali. So it's like an holiday destination. So because I never came to Bali, so I thought it's an holiday destination also. So it would be very pleasant and holiday leisure. So I had mix of understanding. But when I reached here, I was totally amazed because it is so much full of culture in Bali. So to answer your question, what I imagined about Bali and what I experiencing being in Bali, they are so different.
So different.
It's so rich. It's every centimeter in being in Bali, I am amazed. So yes, it's what I had a small understanding, being in Bali, it's magnified. So especially architecture, art, painting, dance, people, culture, behavior. So it's overwhelming, I would say. Deborah would like to say.
Okay,
Yes.
so thank you, Arjun. What about you, Deborah?
I'm similar.
What do you feel?
I'm similar. I had the understanding it's more of a holiday destination, but I'm an architect, so I was interested in the architecture. But before I came here, I had no idea that it would be so amazing. It's just totally, it overwhelmed me actually. Everywhere I look, the architecture is incredible.
Always there is an architecture.
Oh, it's amazing. And I kind of have, since I've been here, I've forgotten actually about the holiday destination. And for me, it's a cultural destination.
Oh,
Totally. So it's changed. It's very different than I imagined.
thank you for that. Well, for both of you, with Arjuna and Deborah, truly is meets West in Bali. Anyway, it is your first visit, isn't it?
Yeah.
Will you come back here?
Oh yes. we don't want to leave.
You don't want to leave?
We don't
Okay.
want to leave.
So,
no.
please stay here in Bali. Please live here in Bali. Tell me more about that. Why you? This is your first time to Bali, and then suddenly you had that kind of idea that you don't want to leave. Tell me more about that. Maybe you did, Deborah.
I think for me, which surprised me, is even though I'm English, I'm much more comfortable in this environment. So it felt like home. It felt like home for me. As soon as I arrived, I felt quite comfortable. And I really would like to kind of infuse myself into the culture and the people. And you can't do that in a few weeks. You need to actually live and experience
More.
much more. Even 3 months, which is what our plan is probably not long enough. We'll probably come for longer, I think.
Just stay here forever.
Yes.
You know that for Balinese, I think most Balinese feel the same. Actually,
Yes.
when visitors visit to Bali and feel comfortable,
Yes.
that's make Balinese feel really.
Yes.
So that is the natural of our feeling for mostly of Balinese. Well, you are from India. What I know about India is a very, very wide country and also very, very wide culture and so on. Will you please let us know about that one? Describe a little bit, or tell us, or tell the Diary Bali friends about India. So we know that IND, Indonesia, IND, India, Rupiah is our currency in Indonesia, and in India is rupee like that. Tell me about that, Arjuna.
Well, if I try to simply answer, I feel like I'm in India, being in Bali. So it's like if somebody wants to know India, I would recommend the person to first know the Bali. It's like India has, I mean, as you said very rightly, India is such a wide country. It has so many, even in India, it has so many different cultures from north to south.
So you are from North.
I'm from north
Yeah, so I guess that there is a difference between the North,
and the south.
Middle, and
Yes,
South.
very
Yeah?
true. Very true.
Yeah.
Mainly, I think because south area is mostly coastal area, like the water area, and culture is more. The food is different. The environment is different. The way nature is, it's different. North is mainly it's locked land, and it is the Ganga, the river Ganga, that plain is. So there, the culture is different to the south. What connects them together is, I think, the same ancient culture thing from 1,000 years. So they all are into yoga or food.
Do you like Indian food?
Yes, I do.
Oh,
Yes, I like it.
Yes, and also you see a lot of architecture. So I mean, the way you go in Bali, every second kilometer or even every 1 kilometer, there's so much architecture. In India also, there is a lot of old architecture, and you might feel like, oh, it's kind of, I can connect to it. So India is a kind of very diverse with almost 3,000 dialects
3,000 dialects. 3,000 dialects.
And almost 28 languages.
28,
8 languages within,
28 languages.
with different alphabets. So you can understand.
Not yet.
That's why I don't speak.
Yeah, so that's why I don't speak Hindi yet.
Yes.
So with me.
Okay, yeah. So I think that is what I would describe India in simple words.
In simple words, you have a very, very rich culture, very rich country, and also it's a lot of people there.
Yeah,
Like
1.3 billion.
maybe 4 times of Indonesia, yeah?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. So, thank you. Now, go back to Debra. Debra, so I heard that you come from Oxford, yeah?
Yes, that's correct. Yes.
In my mind, if I heard about Oxford, that is university.
Very
So,
much.
Very much,
Very
yeah?
much so.
Tell me more about that
Yes, so there are over 60 huge universities in Oxford, which is quite a small space, and it's dominated by the architecture. So they call it the City of Dreaming Spires.
The city,
Because
the
of-
city of
Dreaming
dreaming.
spires.
Spires.
So spires is like a church, like a point. And from the rooftops of Oxford, all you can see is the points, the spires. So there are it's a mixture of people from all over the world, which I really love. And
Including Bali, including Indonesia
of
too,
course.
yeah?
And India, everywhere.
Everywhere.
And what I particularly like about Oxford is you have no idea who you're sat next to. They could be a writer.
I never been to Oxford, but I will be.
You need to
Yeah,
come.
So,
You
yeah,
need
so
to come.
invite me.
Yes, I will. Yes, but it's very mixed. It's a very mixed. It's quite small, but it's a very mixed culture.
But your dialect, her dialect doesn't seem to be from UK or Oxford.
Well, Oxford is, you don't have much of an accent. That's the kind of idea. So you don't have a strong dialect.
Strong dialect.
Yeah, you're
Action.
taught to not have that. Yes.
Yeah.
So, although it might be infused with a bit of Australian now and Indian.
Yeah. So okay, so thank you for that, for India and UK. So meeting in Bali, mixed together, and
Being Balinese.
being Balinese. So Balinese become very, very rich. I love that thing. Yeah. Now I would like to ask both of you, okay, both Arjuna and also Deborah, why did you choose Bali as your destination this time? I understand, I know that you have been traveling all over the world, but this time, pasca COVID-19, why you choose Bali? And then tell me about now is like this is your 14 days in Bali?
No,
4 weeks now.
4
Oh,
weeks.
sorry. This is your 4 weeks in
Yes,
Bali.
yes.
And tell me about when your first time arrived in Bali.
It's very. Okay, so I think we did not choose Bali. Bali chose us. So
What does it mean?
It means that
Bali
Bali
choose you.
choose you.
Bali choose both of you.
Both of us.
What does it mean?
It's like, I think the Bali attracted us in an energetic way.
Energize.
Energized, the energy of Bali, it attracted us. And I think Bali is between Australia and India.
Sure.
And that's very kind of important location. So there were many reasons why we chose Bali. First is that it's in the between junction, India and Australia. Second, we heard about yoga in Bali a lot. We heard about, and also coming from India, I also know about the cultures of Bali, understanding that it is something with Hinduism and yoga, and so, and Deborah can add more, but from my perspective, it's more like I feel like I did not choose Bali. Bali chose me. So the location, the culture, the popularity. The second thing, I would like to mention that is it is ancient, but it is new. Bali is ancient, but it is new. It has international culture also. The restaurants, the markets, the system, the technology, but at the same time it is ancient also. So, I think.
Can I say that Bali, there is also local of Bali? There is also a national because we are part of Indonesia,
Yeah.
and also global,
Great.
Yes,
worldwide.
yes. I definitely would agree with that. Yeah. But that's my feeling.
So what about you, Deborah?
You probably won't like me so
From the beginning.
From the beginning.
Because you said that at the beginning when you first time arrived at the airport, it was very quiet. And then
Yes.
now,
Yes.
suddenly, boom,
Yes.
a lot of people,
Lot
and
of
also
people.
traffic in Ubud.
Yes. Yes.
So I think traffic is between yes and no, between good and bad, isn't it?
It's good, yes.
So what is your opinion about this?
I think that when we first arrived, we were probably quite surprised how quiet it was, but we weren't getting a real perspective because of COVID, post-COVID. So when we first arrived, we were like, oh, it's really quiet. We've seen that change like over the last 3.5 weeks. But the system coming into Bali was really impressive. It was so easy to come in. Everything was just so organized.
The
It was
immigration.
Immigration, everything, the COVID test, it was just so organized. It was a lot harder leaving Australia.
Are you saying that Bali is ready for international to come?
Totally. It was beyond what I was imagining it to be a little chaotic because it was the first opening. But it was amazing. But I think that we have seen it grow and become busier, which is clearly a benefit for everybody here.
Yeah.
And the traffic, we've definitely seen the increase, but having lived in India and the UK, it's not so busy.
Well, yeah. So we do not compare here. But what I mean, how about Bali is busy. Bali is become busier at the moment
Yes.
compared to 4 weeks ago.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
How do you see this? Is there any area of improvement about Bali? Do you have any feedback? Do you have any suggestion on how Bali protect the
Yes.
peaceful?
The Bali people?
Yeah,
Yes.
peaceful. The Bali
Yes.
people and also Bali peaceful.
Yes. I think that's
Peaceful of Bali.
I think that's a really good point.
Yeah.
I actually feel that it's a huge thing. I feel that Bali, for me, perhaps needs to be marketed or the awareness grown more for people outside of Bali that this is a cultural destination.
Cultural destination.
Yes.
So according to Deborah, Bali is a cultural destination instead of holiday destination.
Very
Totally.
good.
Yes.
Yeah, there is a difference between the holiday destination and
Yes.
cultural destination. What about if we combine both?
I think yes, definitely. But I think if you have the cultural as well as the holiday, you'll have people with a different mindset perhaps, with a little more respect for the culture, and then they will take that away with them.
I would agree with her.
Yeah.
And you also said very rightly, combine it.
Yes,
But
combine it.
if people know Bali as a holiday destination, I think that is a wrong picture of Bali.
So rich.
Bali is so rich culturally. So it's very okay to advertise as a holiday destination, but also to make awareness, as Deborah said, that people know that you are having an amazing holiday in Bali, but also you're going to have a lot of rich
Cultural
Yes.
knowledge,
Yes.
experience.
Yes. Even from the food. You know, from everything.
Culinary.
Yes,
I
everything.
take an example. We were in Canggu and we were in a temple and there was a ceremony going on.
Yes.
And in ceremony, girls were dancing and the music of Bali was so rhythmic.
It's attracted
It
us.
just kind of, for me,
I
it was-
see your hands
Yeah.
start dancing like that. Yeah.
you're right. I felt like dancing, and I still feel like dancing when I hear that music. And I told her, oh, look at it. For me, first time reaching in Bali, for me it was completely, wow. What is it? And I was like, it's not only a holiday place. It's a place of such a beautiful experience of knowledge and culture, music, art.
Okay. Beside that. What Bali has taught you?
Well, I mean, that's probably from my
During-
personal perspective.
During your,
During my
let's say,
time.
almost 1 month here
1
in
month,
Bali.
yes.
Yeah, what Bali has taught you?
Well, two things, because I can't get the architecture out of my mind because that's just the way I think. But I love the way it's enriched its architecture with the environment. I think that is just so amazing for me. And every space has a peacefulness about it. Every space feels like completely spiritually calm. And I think that reflects the people of Bali. I find the people here very calm. You know, even on the road.
Very slow? Slow motion, you mean anyway?
Well, maybe not on the scooters.
Not on the scooter, except for not on the scooter, yeah?
But even so, even on the scooters, it kind of blends. I can't explain it.
All go together.
It all goes together.
All
So it
go
still
together.
flows together. And I think that for me is the people, the simplicity, even if it's like, that's what I would take from it.
I love the word of simplicity.
Yes.
What does it mean by you? The simplicity.
For me,
The
simplicity.
simplicity of Bali, simplicity of people, simplicity of
Yeah.
person.
For me, it's about living in the moment. It's about being more content and living with what you have around you. You don't need to complicate everything. I think we complicate everything.
Just
too
live
much.
in front of you.
Yes,
And
exactly.
you see what is in front of you.
Yes.
Enjoy that one.
Yes.
I mean, she said very rightly, beautifully. I would just add one thing. We are sitting here having this conversation.
Chit-Chat.
Chit-Chat.
Very relaxed.
Very relaxed. And it happens. It got organized so simply. You are so
Naturally.
naturally.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you are so connecting. Like we are connecting. We met few days before and so simply, so naturally we are able to converse, chit-chat. I think that's a very beautiful example of simplicity of people.
Not pretending, maybe. Yeah?
No.
Not pretending.
No.
So naturally, simplicity is the best. Like,
Oh, it's beautiful. It's
yeah,
beautiful.
I love that word.
Yeah.
Okay. Our chit chat is going everywhere, yeah. to north, to east, to west, to east. Anyway, what have you embraced about Balinese culture? I think you already,
Yeah.
he already answered. What about you?
I think probably similar to Ajna actually is, but this is not perhaps what I expect to. I absolutely, like every single street corner, every single row has beauty in its artwork, but the artwork, the architecture has meaning behind it. It's not just done there for the sake of it, has a story.
There is always a philosophy
Yes.
behind that. There is
Yes.
always a story behind that.
Yes.
Like our name,
Yes,
like
exactly.
your name,
the names.
Arjuna.
Yes.
He looks like Arjuna though. I
Thank you
assume
very much.
that. Deborah.
That means blonde bee.
Look like
In Persian, blonde
Blo-
bee. You know
B.
bee?
B. Yeah. And very sweet. Yeah. Anyway, now you are here in Bali. Okay, especially you. What have you learned from the Eastern? What have you learned from Balinese people?
I probably, what I said before actually is I definitely look at the simplicity. I really embrace the warmth of the Balinese. I feel that you can feel the warmth from the people here, and that's really important. For me, I guess being English, we can be a bit reserved. That's
Tam like that.
Yes, yes.
Very
in a kind of bit more clothes. So for me, the warmth of the people is really important, and just connecting. Doesn't matter who somebody is. Everybody is the same. Every person is the same. So the people.
Okay, you said that everybody is the same. Here in Bali, yes. We are here in the palace,
Yes.
In the Puri Agung Kelihatan, Bali. And it is a very rich of the architectural
Beautiful.
as well, and also beautiful, the Balinese building and so on. When you are in UK, let's say in English,
Yes.
in British, let's say like that. So, how is the different? How is the different, or how is your feeling in between there and here? Is there any difference?
Yes. I mean, I spend a lot of time in India, but very much, and I recognize that in myself, we're much more cautious in the UK. We're more cautious of people. We're more cautious of our experience where we go. You kind of have to be.
Yes.
You actually do have to be. But here there's a freedom.
There is a
There
feeling.
is a freedom which I definitely don't feel that in the UK. I really don't.
Okay. When you say freedom, what does it
Yes.
mean? What does it describe to?
For me personally, it's the freedom to be yourself.
Freedom to be yourself.
Yes, to open to be who you are, and to not judge or to feel that you're judged.
Naturally. Yeah?
Naturally, yes.
What about you, Arthur?
I think I would definitely endorse with what Deborah is saying. The simplicity, the freedom to be able to yourself, to walk on the street, to have an swastiastu from the next
Swastiastu
person,
from-
and so welcoming environment.
So
So you
welcoming.
feel like, oh, I'm feeling comfortable to express myself.
One another say hi to one
Yes,
another.
yes,
Good
yeah.
morning, Om
Yeah.
Swastiastu, Selamat pagi.
Yes.
Does that kind of action feels you something?
To me, it feels like I learned that you need to be natural.
Yes.
That's the one thing I learned very clearly. And I think that's what Deborah was saying, that being in Bali, slowly you are able to express yourself more and more. You are able to smile yourself more and more without being kind of,
Yeah.
judged or being in the...
Not pretending. Yeah.
Not pretending.
In bahasa Indonesia we say tidak, hidup kita itu sederhana, simple, tidak pura-pura. Jadi apa adanya.
Can you please translate this for us?
I'm just saying what you said. Simplicity is sederhana. Okay. Pretending is pura-pura, or not pretending is tidak pura-pura, alami. So apa adanya. Like us now,
Yeah.
is no plan, no pretending. We
Yes.
communicate naturally,
Yes.
kind of that.
Yeah, and one thing about, like, I would just say, because India is really comparing to Bali, if I just do, like, just on a social level, being in India, it's very kind of fast also in some
Yes.
cities in a way.
Yeah.
And for me, I have lived mostly in Delhi.
Delhi, yeah, very busy.
Very,
Very
busy.
busy.
Capital of India is Delhi, very busy.
Very busy.
Yeah, I went to Delhi too.
Yes, and I feel like that there is something to learn, for me to take away to India from Bali, is that what you said and what Deborah said, simplicity, naturality,
Naturality.
and there is many messages. I think our chit chat would not be able to have all of it in our talk.
We will have section 2.
Yes.
When you come back to
When we come
Bali,
back.
and then we will continue our chit chat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would go on a kind of point 1, point 2, point 3, point 4. But especially, I would definitely agree with what Deborah said about respecting the culture, merging with the nature, and using. And you see that in the
it's
woodcraft. You see that in the
amazing.
painting and everything.
Yeah.
So I think that is what I would say.
Well, you learn from Bali, and I also learn from India. So a lot of things that I bring from India to here in Bali in terms of the positivity.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
in terms of what culture I can adapt here in Bali, what culture I can bring, I can do it here in Bali. Well, here because we are very, very, very connect, yeah, very close. Yes, I think we already have a long discussion. We already have a long chit chat, and I'm sure that is very, very meaningful for three of us.
Yes.
Yeah, three of us here, and this is the first start. I mean, this is a start to begin, and we will continue
Yes, I
again.
think you will.
Yeah, and you are leaving Bali the day after tomorrow, yeah, and you are leaving Bali
Tuesday. Yeah.
Okay, next week. Maybe last thing, yeah, last not last, last not the least. Considering you are from the UK, especially Oxford, and considering you are from India, North India, in my perspective is very, very cultural, university, cultural. Now, how you combine all of that here in Bali?
Might let you lead that one.
That's a very
It's a
meaningful,
very, very
meaningful question.
very poignant question.
I mean, from my perspective, I feel that, as I said, that Bali has its local culture, which shows its ancient feeling. Also, Bali has a national culture, Indonesian, and also Bali has an international culture. So I think that is a good example how it connects together from the west to the east situation.
Yes.
So, for example, I think people know that in India the software industry is very big. So India kind of develops a lot of softwares and websites and applications.
IT,
yeah.
Finance and IT.
IT. So
Very.
yes, so you might go on a cafe walking in the Ubud and see an application which was developed in India being used in a cafe. And you go and sit into a cafe that would be possibly from UK, the coffee beans
We went
or the
there.
ambience of the cafe. But at the same time, you walk out from the cafe and then you see a nasi goreng place where
Nasi
you can
goreng.
yes,
Our
and you can-
favourite.
favorite, and you can enjoy the Balinese food and the rice puddings. You know?
My
I-
favorite,
yeah,
the
favorite.
black rice pudding.
So that is the example I would share, that how I see, coming from India, some of the India thing I see here with the UK, England, America, West, connecting in the Bali.
So,
I mean, Deborah might have
Yeah,
something to share
I
on
think
that.
I agree with Arjuna, and I maybe that's more a personal level, but I mean, obviously, we look different because we're not from Bali, but we look different wherever we travel together. And we were saying, I feel here more accepted actually. I feel that people are they just
Yes,
accept who we are, whereas everywhere else we are, they're kind of questioning, like, why are you kind of had, just
That is one of Bali as a holiday destination.
Yeah.
Bali is a hospitality destination.
But I think because we are quite different in our look and our culture, it's not just the holiday. It's because we are quite opposite.
Yes, I think what you're saying is about that Bali doesn't discriminate between
No,
how people are.
not
It's
at
like
all.
At all.
at all.
No,
So it's
but other
totally
holiday
accepts.
places
Yeah, so
do,
it totally accepts.
Yes, I feel that. I really feel that we have embraced and people have embraced us, for who we are, not kind of questioning,
Yeah.
why we are with each other, kind of thing.
Before leaving Bali to Australia or to where you will be,
Australia, India, UK.
Australia, India, UK, what is your message to Bali?
To Bali.
Yeah.
Well, for me, it's don't change
Don't change.
who you are.
Don't
Yes,
change.
Yes. Yeah. That's
Stay like this. Don't change. And simplicity is the best.
yes, definitely. Yeah.
You want to add?
Yes, I would totally agree with it. Stay in the essence who we are. I would add, but also evolve with the nature, with the world, or with the universe. So it's like you stay in the core of your heart or place, essence of who you are as a Bali culture, and also keep evolving as you have been evolving over the period of thousands and thousands of years. So that's my message.
Well, thank you, both of you. And the time is flying. Yeah?
Yes,
The
it
time
is
is flying
now.
like
We're both a little
anything.
sad now.
Anyways, teman-teman dari Bali dimanapun berada, itu tadi chit-chat saya, bincang santai saya dengan Arjuna dan juga Deborah, sangat-sangat menarik ya, dimana mereka berdua pertama kali datang ke Bali dan langsung jatuh cinta dengan Bali, dan mereka sudah memutuskan akan berkunjung lebih lama lagi dan juga akan berkunjung lebih sering lagi ke Bali. Itu yang membuat kita menjadi nyaman dan juga senang. Terima kasih untuk teman-teman semuanya. Sampai jumpa nanti dengan Chit-Chat East Midwest yang lebih menarik. Salam. Om Santi 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 Om.